Hello everybody, welcome back to day 26 of Artgust. Today's prompt is everyone's favorite craft supply, glitter. I used today's prompt to run a bit of an experiment. I want to see how different glitters sink in resin. I've found in the past that if I want glitter to stay suspended in my dice, I have to pour the resin when it's super thick. It's usually mostly an issue with the larger and heavier flakes of glitter, but I'm working in such small molds, I'm not sure how much the different kinds actually sink. Today we're going to pour a bunch of resin into a mold larger than a set of dice, and we're going to try a bunch of different sizes and kinds of glitter to see how they react. My plan is to pour the resin while it's still freshly mixed, which means it'll be at its runniest, as I think that'll give the most variation in sink rates. I'm expecting going in that the glitters like the tiny blue stars and the glow-in-the-dark bits will sink directly to the bottom of the mold and not suspend at all. The same goes for the large silver stars. It seems like the bigger or thicker flakes are the ones that usually sink the most in my dice, even if I wait for my resin to get super thick. The mica powder will stay suspended, if past experiences are anything to go by, as well as the super fine glitter. Foil usually does a pretty good job of staying suspended for me, I think because it's so thin, but it may sink a little bit. I've done jumbo dice before where my foil sank to one side. I think with regular dice, the flakes are so big and the die is so small that even if it sinks, you don't notice it. We'll see how it does when it has more room to move around. I'm less sure about the medium-sized glitters. The sort of standard craft glitter size and the slightly larger but thin flakes could go either way. I'm thinking they might just partially sink. Alright, we're going to use a jar mold that takes 200 milliliters or so of resin, so we'll get that mixed up. And then pour in our glitter mixture. I was worried I hadn't added enough glitter to my little mixing cup, but after mixing it in, I think this will be the perfect amount to actually be able to see how things move. Too little glitter and we'd miss out on that sparkle. Too much and we might not be able to see the different flakes for our experiment. This was a very easy pour. I literally just mixed in my glitter and then poured the resin into the mold. Then it's off to the pressure pot for them to cure. Unfortunately, the molds weren't perfectly level while curing, so the lid ended up with a bit of overspill. I'll have to go back at some point and do some sanding, dome the top maybe, to even things up. Alright, how did the experiment end up? I'm honestly surprised at how well the craft glitter and iridescent hexagon glitter stayed suspended. I thought they'd at least sink a little, but they seem pretty even throughout. Same for the foil. The thick, tiny blue and glow-in-the-dark glitters did indeed sink to the bottom of the mold. You can see some of them on the lid and the base because they just sank and rested on the mold there, but there don't appear to be any of either along the sides of the jar. The silver stars behaved similarly and sank completely, as expected. I think the super fine glitter suspended well. Honestly, they're so fine it's hard for me to pick them out from the rest of the busyness. I do think they add some well-needed sparkle to the whole thing, so they were a good choice for a bit of texture. I've been thinking about doing a tutorial video on glitter dice at some point, so this has been quite useful for getting ready for that. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!